Whoa, this is The Illusion, reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Bozeman, part 2. So, we're in Bozeman, right? And I had all these buddies, man, there in Bozeman. So, they had started up this sort of like art magazine called Coiled. And what it was it was submission based for people would, turn in art or poetry or short stories or photos or whatever. And these guys would they were all graphic arts majors or something like that. So they would go and they would throw this thing together and make this bitchin' magazine. And how they were doing they were getting sponsorship to pay for it, right? They had ads going in the thing. So we did this this goes back away. They had this goofy thing called Hands Across America, dude, to end homelessness or something, dude. But we did our own Hands Across Bozeman with 10 of us, dude, and we just wore different outfits and staged all these shots, and we had fun with it, right? We used to do this thing called Coiled. It was full art, DIY style. But so I'm always an outside the box kind of thinker, and we wanted to add another 2 pages to it, which is 4 pages ultimately, the way it worked. And we needed to raise up some money. So I was like, why don't we do it why don't we have a barbecue on the side of the road between Bridger Bowl and town, and it'll be donation based, because we're well, we can't sell, so we'll barbecue on the side of the road at the pullout, and we will give away hot dogs, and we'll ask for donations. So we started this donation dogs thing this one night, and we got on the phone and we got the supermarkets donated hot dogs and buns, and the radio station did a bunch of ads for us, and we got all prepped for doing our donation dogs on 3 days later. Well, 3 days later, dude, this big snowstorm came barreling in, and it turned out to be the dumper of the winter and the coldest day in 20 years or something. It was some sort of weird anomaly like that. So it's freezing cold, and we're drinking beer on the side of the road. We're getting hammered, barbecuing dogs, and it's dumping snow. It's freezing cold. And we got all these signs all up and down the road. Donation dogs, stop, Coiled magazine, man, get a hot dog for free, donate some money, this whole thing going on. And people were coming by and having hot dogs, and so it was so cold, the beers were freezing, and we were putting the beers on the barbecue to keep them from getting cold. We put them on the outside, around the perimeter to keep them from getting cold, and we were getting so snookered, man. And the hottest, we were sitting there, and the snowplow comes blaring through, dude, and we got fully waked by the snowplow, dude. Just hammered by the snowplow, dude. But we made all this money, man, for our magazine. And it'll just go down as this fond memory I always have of donation dogs, sitting on the side of the road all day during this snowstorm, barbecuing and drinking beer in this blizzard. I don't have blizzards out, that's an East Coast thing, but this mammoth snowstorm, just a motley crew of us, dude. There's photos somewhere too, donation dogs, man. Chris, if you're watching this, Chris, dude, that was quite a time. Chris, my buddy Andy was out in Bozeman. There's a whole out in Billings, no, not Billings. What's the Missoula? So the Missoula crew would come over, dude. It was madness. Bozeman was straight up madness. It cracked me on a certain level. I escaped Bozeman in the spring pretty tore up, man. Whoa. So I got one more story for Bozeman. So it was snowing, right? And you know, driving's like hazardous in the snow when you're dealing with idiots. There's this road between Bozeman and Big Lie where they've got all these red crosses, little red crosses on the side of the road where people have died. And I would not. So I have this is my trip about snowboarding and ski mountains and the whole thing. Dude, I will not go to a snow ski mountain unless I have a season pass and I live within like 20 minutes max, because the driving thing's retarded, dude. It is like death on skis, man. I used to have my little red pickup truck, 2-wheel drive, dude. And we'd get up early, maybe make a bunch of coffee, we'd leave early, and we'd be putting up the mountain, putt up the mountain. And idiots would be passing us in 4x, and they would, you could 2 miles later, there they would be over in the ditch, man. And it would be like the same stuff on the way home, man. People would be all pickled and wasted after a full day skiing, like passing you and getting into accidents and stuff. And I was like, this is madness, man. I've never cared for the whole going snowboarding or skiing and dealing with the driving home, dude. It just seems like this full Russian roulette with your life, man. But that's whatever, man. You do what you gotta do, dude. I don't play that game. So what? I had another thought in there. Donation dogs. The boys, I did Potosi. I got one more good story from Bozeman, man. Darn, did it just slip out? Just slipped out sideways. All right, I got one more thing we used to do. So there was this little frozen pond in front of my buddy's apartment, like a little teeny frozen pond, and we used to get hammered. And with the flattened beer can, we used to play this, I forget what we call it. We had a name for it. It was basically like hockey soccer, where like 6 of us would get out there with this can and we'd kick it around, sliding around. It was madness. I'm surprised no one broke any wings on that thing, dude. Dude, it was debauchery at its finest. I had this little nugget, man. I was fully gonna... I don't know, dude. It was youthful, man. It was a good time. It was radical. I gotta say, dude. Oh, so there's this one night, man. I'm driving from Big Fresh. I think that was what the markets were called, Big Fresh. And this cool thing they had, you could mix and match your 6-packs. So you could get the little 6. You go in there and get your 6-pack holder, and you could pick like your 4 6 microbrews of any combination you wanted. Like that was I think it was Big Fresh Country Mart. And so, but it was like across town from us. So I remember one night I was driving back putt-putting. I was talking about putt-putting and idiots in the snow. So I was putt-putting back across town, and I'm in like, there's like a big mall or something, and I see this car flying, dude, flying in the thing. And I'm putt-putting, and the roads are iced and the whole thing, and I'm putt-putting, and I see this guy, and I'm like, dude, what's this guy's move? And I see him like hitting the brakes now, but he's just in slide mode, and he's sliding to my thing, and I remember him popping up, like the parking lot, had a little ramp where like to get on the street, popping up, and the whole thing, and him sliding at like slow motion madness, dude, putt-putting, and me having to go into the oncoming lane to avoid this dude fully T-boning me. I just went, and I just got just enough room where he went behind me. And this dude like wheeled it around and got back and was driving. I caught him at the next light, dude. And like I said, I can be a little bit of a psycho. I remember grabbing one of my microbrews bottles from my Country Fresh Mix and Match 6-pack and getting out of the car and going back to this dude. And I was like, dude, get out of the car, man. Get out of the car, dude. What the hell you think you're doing, dude? I go, what are you, like, you almost T-boned me, man. He's like, I'm sorry, dude. I go, why are you driving so fast in the middle of frozen Montana, dude? And this dude, like, was so, like, scared. Because I was, like, I can get pretty, like, crazy looking. Well, that's not a positive note to end this whole Montana thing on. But that's Montana for you, man. Like, dude, it's madness out there. You can't move to Montana. I got even other crazier stories. I forgot. Now I'm thinking about, like, the other stories. So I used to go to Montana fairly often during the summer. I'd pass through and see my friends had a cabin out there outside of Missoula in this town. Oh, gosh, dude, that's madness, too, dude. Drinking 10 High whiskey and Schmidt's Ice White Dogs. Oh, makes me feel ill just talking about it. Good times, man. Good times in Mantana, dude. Dude, it's like another country up there, man. I gotta say, dude, it is another planet in Mantana. Huh. I gotta go back up there one. It's a good place to go hide out, that's for sure. I like this little town called Pony. There's a little town out there called Pony. I always liked Pony. Anyway, that's Bozeman Part 2. This is The Illusion signing out.